Good evening, everyone. It's indeed a great opportunity and pleasure to invite His Excellency, our Ambassador, Mr. Manoj Kumar Bharti, Madam, ladies, gentlemen, friends, and our friends from the Ukrainian community that they are here. As rightly said by Alina, that has been a long-awaited India Club website, which we have been talking about it for a very long time. And thanks to the executive committee members that we all put together, worked it out for quite a long time. And it needs to be updated periodically, so we need your support. But it's a very wonderful occasion to have, at the right appropriate time, to have the new ambassador come in and to inaugurate the website. So, on your behalf, I would like to first extend a very warm welcome to the ambassador and his family to Ukraine. As you would see, the Indian community here is a very diversified and very much unified. We have most of the activities done, probably our website to elaborate more what we have done when you go into the galleries of photos and videos. And we look forward to having a wonderful time together when you are here. I'm sure we'd enjoy every moment that we are here, and this wonderful facility that has been here. We would like to make the best use of it, and we look forward to all the support and guidance from your side. And I take this opportunity on behalf of the Indian community to extend a warm welcome to the family. At the same time, introduce you to His Excellency, Mr. Manoj Kumar Bharti. And I request him to start off with inaugurating the website.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Embassy, friends from the Ukrainian community. First of all, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you in this new format of the Embassy. Those who have not seen it before, you will find it a very user-friendly format and facility that has been created. I congratulate India Club for making this venue the place for inauguration of the newly launched website. Before I go on to say something else, let us first finish with this part of the evening. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Friends, I'd just like to scan through the contents that we have for the website. This is the main page. Then you move on to all about the club. And we also have a provision for people to even enter. This is the current team, the old team. And also you could enter into the various partners that have been here who have supported the India Club since its inception from 2002. So you would find most of them, and those of them you have not had their either logo or name, we would request you to send it so that we could have them placed again. Also we have the press center and the various galleries that we have in terms of photos, videos. We have quite a lot of years that we don't have videos and photos, so we would request you to hand over to us so that we could update it on a regular basis so that we don't miss any of this. And we have it in 3 languages, Ukrainian, English and Russian. The objective is that we want to encourage the local community to get to know more about the club, at the same time be participative in all the events that we organize. With this, I would like to support, because this is a site which is meant for you all, so we would like you to give us a constructive support in terms of criticism also. At the same time, we'd like you to contribute in terms of articles, photos and everything else. And it was just only probably a reason to meet today, but the most important aspect of today's get-together here is to listen to our ambassador's speech on Indian philosophy and modern science. I'm sure quite a few of them must be on the way, they will be joining us anytime, but nevertheless, we have got a full-fledged video recording today, which will be later on loaded up into the website, in case your friends are missed, because I know a few of them are on business trip to other cities and they have gone out of the country, nevertheless they will not miss this occasion. We have this entire program loaded up in this site later on. So would encourage every one of you to pass this message and over to our ambassador for this wonderful topic, because I'm not going to talk much on that. I think he has got a lot to say on it, and we'll have a great evening to take back a good message about Indian heritage and its culture and its past. Thank you. Friends, put down your hands to give a quick welcome.
Okay, first of all, once again, congratulations to the India Club. And as any initiative of this nature is successful only after active participation of its members, on behalf of the India Club, I'll also request all of you, members of the Indian community, to contribute to the well-being of this website. Provide videos or photographs, articles or whatever. Everything will be making it richer and to the benefit of you only and your friends only. So let's get back to this subject, which has been very dear to me. As most of you know from my biodata, I am actually an engineer by training, and mathematics and physics remain my love even today. By the way, anyone here who does not understand English? Because I have not thought of having everything translated today. I thought everybody will be understanding English at least. But if there is any such problem, please raise your hands. No? Alright. So the question that has been bothering me right from a very early age as to what exactly is life? What is universe? What is the shape of the universe? These are some of the basic questions anyone would have, and people earlier also had it. From the time that humanity has been born, people have struggled to find answers to this. And surprisingly, today, even the science, modern science is looking at these questions. But the problem with the modern science is, it doesn't answer the question how something, what exactly is there that we are looking for. How it works is known to us. It is explained by physics, chemistry, whatever, biology, how the body functions, we know. But why something exists is not answered by science. For example, if you take the definition of mass in books of physics, it says it is the inherent property of matter. That's all. But what exactly is mass, where did it come from, is not explained in any science. And this question, which is basic to any human being, especially in India, that we know of. Two children are born. Child A is born in a rich family and enjoys the life of wealth and opulence. Child B is born in a very poor beggar's family and lives a life of misery. What is the fault of child B that he suffers the entire life? No science has any answer to this. And these things have been bothering me, which resulted in my thinking about, first of all, the way we live and the way we think about life. From the point of view of science, Indian philosophy, mostly that I learned through scriptures or Sanskrit and things like that, they explain to us many things. But my idea was to try and find an answer through science. how do we make explanations to people who want to understand everything only with the help of science? An important thing that came to my mind is that we have to learn about from our old scriptures only. Strangely, I found that the answers to these questions, all these basic questions that I told you, have been given by our philosophers, ancient philosophers, which are written in Vedas, Upanishads and everything. But the problem with the Indian philosophy is, if they tell us the answers, it is very hard to believe. I mean, especially people in the West will think that they are all hallucinations. People have been hallucinating and then they are saying these things. I mean, what are the basic things that Indian philosophy says? I'll come to that. But for example, the whole world is Maya, is a mirage. I mean, how does it matter whether it is Maya or not, Maya or Sudha or something? It doesn't really matter. Important thing is that the Indian philosophers indicated that it is not enough to know what exactly are these answers. The answers are written in the books and you can get them, but it does not really matter to anyone, even including you, that you just know these answers. The important thing is that one has to realize these answers. Our ancient philosophy says all this. Jagat Mithya, Aham Brahmasmi. It's a very typical thing. I am the God, which is also ridiculed by other religion. These statements, these are very important statements, but they actually do not mean anything to us. We can learn about this from the books, from the teachers. They can give hundreds of explanations also, but that doesn't help anyone, especially to explain to anyone who does not belong to so-called Hindu or Indian thought process. It does not really mean anything at all. And that is when this thought came to me, that the answers have to be realized by each one of us. And these answers cannot be passed on to anyone, because these are basic realizations. Indian philosophy also tells us that it has to be realized by each one of us. Only then you will actually understand the meaning of these questions. What the Indian philosophers and our guidebooks or our Upanishads and Vedas give are ways to reach to that stage where we can realize these answers. What is the nature of the universe? What is life? What is death? Where were we before we were born? Etc., etc. The fact that our philosophers in India knew these things can be understood by different examples. And one of the very obvious example is our Panchang, our astrology system. 5,000 years ago, how did people know the exact position of the planets, moon around the earth, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars and earth, position of these planets around the sun throughout the year? There is just no way through any physics or philosophy or mathematics to know exactly these positions of these planets. And I was fascinated by this idea. Well, that is why I read astrology also. And I tried to analyze as to what happens when someone makes a chart of our life. What happens? What is the procedure? If you see, they are basically mathematical calculations. But what is important is that at certain point of time, they use the time period taken by any planet around the sun. Where did they come to know of that time period, the revolution cycle? That is something that tells us that Indian philosophers had a way to understand many things about the universe. They knew almost everything that we ask ourselves today. But the only thing is, it cannot be passed on because it has to be realized. And that is when I started searching whether science gives an explanation. The first thing to tell is that whatever I have told you till now looks like a game plan or something like to divert your attention. But I tell my Western friends that what does science do? It makes an hypothesis, then does some experiments. If the experiment meets the hypothesis, we say that our hypothesis was correct, right? And if the experiment does not approve of our hypothesis, we say that, okay, this hypothesis was wrong, let us go to a new hypothesis. Is that clear? Everybody is with me, right? So I tell people, let us make this hypothesis. The hypothesis is, if you meditate deeply, in the state of deep meditation, you will get the answers of all your questions. All these basic questions can be answered. This is a hypothesis. Experiment is, please meditate. If after getting into deep meditation, you are unable to get these answers, we will say that my hypothesis was wrong. But those who have been able to do this have really felt that yes, the answers are available. They are the answers of all our questions and all our miseries. One of those seekers, which is very prominent today, and since 2,500 years, was Buddha. He went on to a path, and his explanation of the whole experience was in a different fashion. You know, all of you know about Buddhist tenets, so I don't need to repeat this. But the important thing is that the experiment has to be done, and the experiment is of meditation. Now, what does meditation do? Why should meditation give us all the answers? And that is when the question arose as to what is it like to get the answers as to what is the shape and size of universe, what is life, what is death, how do we come to know of this? And suddenly one day I realized that it is actually nothing but a vision from another dimension. And this is a fact which I am going to explain in little detail, why I am saying this. And before I get into these scientific facts, I like to show you a small film. Actually, this film is quite long, 1 hour 18 minutes. But I have taken clips from where I want to draw your attention to. In 1884, a book was written called Flat Land. It's a story in which everything in the world is a two-dimensional world. Everything is in two dimensions. There is no third dimension. This two-dimensional world is having people in different shapes and sizes. Suddenly, one day, someone from the three dimension comes, a sphere comes. What happens then? How people react to that? This is the story of this Flat Land. A film, an animation film was made on this story in 2007. And I'm going to show you this film. I'm going to give you certain explanations. try and imagine all that has been said in this film to an experience of third and fourth dimension, taking fourth dimension as time, and looking everything from a fifth dimension. Compare whatever is happening between second and third dimension with what can happen from third and fourth dimension to the fifth dimension.
Ready for your first sight recognition lesson?
I guess so.
A family.
What do you see when you look at me?
A square.
Is that what you really see?
A
Go on.
line.
Is that all? What do you see at the edges of the line? Look closer.
I see like shadings.
That's the ether, the fog. It dims the light the further away you are. It's everywhere, so to children and the uneducated, it's nowhere, invisible. That's why they have to feel their way around, touching people in order to figure out who or what they are.
Feelers are Sticksville.
That's right, that's right. Now, suppose two individuals are approaching. A triangle and a pentagon. Which is which? No touching. If that were a real triangle, you could hurt yourself on a sharp angle.
Why can't I just walk around it? That way I could see the shading easier.
That's not done in polite company. Sometimes when there are a lot of people, you can wiggle back and forth to triangulate, but you don't want to go all the way around someone. So you figure it out by staying right where you are.
But how do I do it?
Infer the shape through the shading. See?
Square, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. Is my brother in?
I can't do it! Am I stupid? I must be a feeler.
Sight recognition isn't easy, I know, but it'll come to you.
Your brother is here!
We'll continue the lesson in a moment.
Do we have to?
The other children.
B square!
A square!
This is, you have seen the flat world. It's completely two-dimensional. You can only see the edges because it's a two-dimensional world. Now, one day, a person from the third dimension comes. Okay.
Too good to play with them.
Then go study in your room and stop
I
talking
can't
nonsense!
do anything right.
The boy must be going mad.
He isn't mad! How can you say that? He's just a little confused!
3 to the third power has an obvious meaning.
Oh! Oh! What is that?
No, a line. It's a circle!
I'm no demon. You were right the third time. In a sense, I am a circle. A circle more perfect than any seen in Flatland.
Sir, forgive us, but how did you change your circumference? No circle I've heard of can do that. And how did you get in here?
By in here, do you mean Flatland?
Flatland? A woman I met yesterday called the world Flatland.
Did she? Good for her. Madam, I have a message to deliver to your husband. If you wouldn't mind, I
Oh!
would...
Are you really a circle? I mean a priest?
How clever your little boy.
Forgive me, sir. I must feel you. You have no angles, not a one. Are you a perfect circle?
Yes?
Two eyes! That's disgusting! I'm going to
Calm down, you silly little square. I am a more perfect being than you. I am a circle made up of circles. I am perfection. I am a sphere. CEO of the sun.
What? Where did you come from?
From space.
Aren't you already in space?
What do you know of space?
Space is length and width.
No, there's a third dimension of length, width, and height.
Please, your circular lordship, what direction is this third dimension?
Up, down.
North and south?
Nothing of the kind. A direction in which you not look, because you have no eye in your side.
I have an eye. It's on my northwest side.
In order to see in space, you need an eye, not on your outside, but on your inside, looking up
And I am
or
my
down.
Please, sir, this is New Year's Eve. There were horrible riots yesterday. My only brother may be dead. I have family obligations. Really, this is just no time for jokes.
I didn't come to joke. I'm from the land of 3 dimensions. 3D. I looked down and saw the plane on which you live. I can see into your churches, your ministries, your banks, your houses, even your insides and stomachs. Everything open and exposed to my view. I saw your 5 sons fighting each other with rubber swords, and your other son, the hexagonal one, was sulking off in his room. Likes to color himself. How do you think I knew that?
We have a name for people like you.
Yes?
Perverts. There are laws, sir. There
I
are
am
laws.
what I say I am.
You must have drilled through the walls. The holes.
He doesn't believe. He says you're a pervert. You're a fictional thing. The 3-dimensional person is not known to the 2-dimensional fellow. And if you see, he said that I have seen everything. I mean, if a 2-dimensional world is here, in the 3rd dimension you can see everything. Similarly, if you are in the 5th dimension, you can see everything about any dimension, any world which has lower dimension than 5. Next.
Height is the dimension.
Height is a dimension, like length, only a different direction. In your world, height is just very, very
Point out this direction, otherwise leave me alone.
Listen, to you, flatland is your whole world. To me, it's a flat plane on top of which you move around. You call me a circle. No, I'm an infinite number of circles. A sphere, a solid. When I enter your world, only a slice of me. Watch, I'm going to rise up and down in space. Watch. See? Up, down. Up, down. And now I'm going to rise out of your world altogether.
Where did you go? Where are you?
Here.
Am I still dreaming?
Convinced?
No, it's a chromatist trick.
Idiot! It's no trick. I thought I was dealing
Or you're a
with an
spy
adult.
from the Northern Kingdom. I know it.
Politics? I hate politics.
Next.
If our roles were reversed, how would you convince a jury?
I would have to show them. Directly show them.
Of course, action, not words. Listen, I can see from here your study. On the wall is a hidden safe, inside of which is a hidden little glowing thing.
It's called a glow point. No, wait.
I'm entering the safe now.
Leave that alone.
Grabbing the glowing thingy, notice that the door does not move. Now I'm in the safe, and I'm taking the glowing thingy. Whoops.
What? What?
It stopped glowing. Well, never mind. Here's your thingy. Notice, the door to the safe is closed. Ta-da! Get it? Me, Spaceland, you, Flatland. I look down on you.
All that you've proven is that you're a skillful thief and a vandal. You fixed my glow point.
You people certainly like your shiny things, don't you? Okay, listen. The higher I go, the further away from Flatland I go, the more I can see. Though, of course, I see it on a smaller scale. For example, now I can see your neighbor's house, and your 5 pentagonal sons banging against its side.
I told them to stay inside.
Now I'm going far, far up. Buildings, buildings, buildings. Now I see the border between your country and the Northern Kingdom. Uh-oh, looks busy. Mostly soldier triangles. Looks like they're getting ready for something.
Oh, anyone can listen to the radio.
Fine, fine, fine. How about if I touch you?
Touch me.
Sure, just a little touch. Gently, here. in your stomach.
No. You see? From the two-dimensional world, he has come up and he can see everything. He can see his inside also, what his body is made of. He touches his stomach from top, and the person, two-dimensional fellow, is amazed. How can he touch inside him? Just keep comparing it with what you have heard, especially the Indians, what you have heard about different things happening in India and people showing different tricks. Just keep comparing this. Next one.
I suppose I'll have to do it.
Do what? Murder me? You've done everything else.
Nothing of the sort. It will be painful and I could get into trouble.
Now, stop.
I've got no...
What he says is the crux of the matter. He says, you don't believe me. The sphere says to square, you don't believe me. So, okay, let me do one thing. Let me take you to the space. Continue.
choice if the gospel of three dimensions is to be defeated. Hang on, Apostle. 1, 2, 3. Out of flatland we go!
Yes, Dr. Katrina.
Man, I'm insane. What have you done to me?
Lifted you out of flatland into reality. Steady. There. Can you stand? Rest on your bottom hairs for a moment.
What is this pressure? It's pushing me southward. My south hairs hurt.
That. You'll get used to that. That's just gravity. Something we all have to contend with in Spaceland. Nothing to worry about.
Now that I see you, all of you, you're so perfect. Your circularity is beyond circularity. Everywhere you're circular and divine and perfect. A divine ideal of loveliness and wisdom.
Feel free to worship me at any time. But first, let's take a look at where you've been.
Look, a Flatlander.
You can see their insides. I see! I see!
I take it that my experiment worked. I hope my ends will justify my means. Care to see yourself?
Myself? How can I see myself? I'm inside of myself.
In 3D, you can have reflections. Light can bounce off an object, which you can use to see yourself. Here.
That's me?
No, it's your reflection.
Thank you. Thank you for showing me this. I see now. I see everything. Everything. I understand it all. I can see.
This is exactly what I was trying to drive at. When you meditate, you get into a state from where you feel as if everything is clear to me. It is as if getting into another dimension from where everything in this three-dimensional world becomes very clear. Now, he comes back to his land, talks to his brother, tries to explain to him that I have seen it. I know the entire truth.
Sort of. I was in Spaceland looking down on the flatland and saw President Circle arresting you. He had no right. I can get you off. I know I can. All I have to do is explain to them that up, up, not northward, but up, above, on top of. They'll understand then. I should have remembered all the words, but I was distracted and beside myself. I was sick, but listen, B, there's another dimension. There's a third dimension, and I'm here to spread the word.
What? Are you mad? You're a monster! You're gonna kill!
If I know the answer after meditation, nobody else will believe me. Because everybody has to realize it himself or herself. His brother says you have gone mad. That is the truth of Indian philosophy tells you. And the last one. Sorry, before you stop, sir. In the last one, there's a very interesting thing. The two-dimensional fellow, when he sees the three-dimensional sphere, he says, just the way you have shown me my inside, in my reflection, there must be a way to see inside you. 3 dimension. So tell me how you can see inside you. And the 3rd dimension fellow says, there's no way to do it. You have gone mad. I mean, this is a legal question.
You need to look at your insides.
My what?
Your stomach, brain, heart.
What the devil are you talking about?
When I was feeling the cube, a light overwhelmed me, and I saw more and farther than I've ever seen before.
Uh-huh.
What I saw, or sensed, or felt was that a dimension greater than yours existed. Just as I am to you, so must you be to someone else. If your dimension is greater and purer than mine, then there must be a 4th dimension even greater and purer than yours. Oh, good friend, philosopher, priest, don't you see what you have taught me? Some yet more spacious space, some more dimensionality lies beyond this one.
Time's short. We've got a lot to do before you're fit to proclaim the 3 dimensions.
Please, sir, let me see your insides.
Well, in the first place, your request makes no sense. In the second place, I can't turn myself inside out.
But you showed me the insides of Flatland by taking me from the land of 2 dimensions into the land of 3. Please, take me into a 4th dimension so that we can look onto the land of 3D and see the secrets of solids.
And where is this land of 4 dimensions supposed to be?
Oh, doubtless you, a great teacher of dimensionality greater than mine. Surely you know where it is.
And if I do, there is no such place. The very idea. Inconceivable.
You taught me that when I see a line in Flatland and infer a plane, in reality I see a 3rd dimension. Not the same as brightness, but one called height. So it follows that in Spaceland, when I see a plane and infer a solid, I really see a 4th, unrecognized dimension, just as the monarch of line.
So, come back to the presentation. This is where the Western world stops. It starts questioning, and that's it. I say that the Indian philosophers actually have realized this. And the only way to go into a higher dimension is through meditation. How you do meditate doesn't matter to me. Should not matter to anyone. Whether it is Sahaj Marg or Krishna, Hare Krishna, or Christianity or Islam, does not matter. But the problem today is nobody explains any form of religion in these terms. Religion has become a ritual today. I tell you, follow any religion, but as long as you understand the basic thing which has been explained by the Indian philosophers, you will be fine. According to me, Indian philosophy tells you that there is no God. If you reach that stage from where you can get all these answers yourself, you have become God yourself. Because God is nothing but a state of complete knowledge. And that is why it says, Aham Brahmasmi. Everybody can reach that answer, can realize that answer, and everybody can become God. Because God is nothing but that knowledge, complete knowledge. That knowledge can be reached by hundreds of ways. That is why there are 64,000 gods in India. Doesn't matter which god you follow. I can make this as my god and I can start doing my bhakti or whatever. It does not matter. Because end result is something else. You have to reach that stage from where you understand everything about this world and inside and outside of you. This is the true meaning of Indian philosophy. Now, if that is the case, does science have an explanation for the existence of 5D? Because this film, surprisingly, though I had reached that conclusion that there is a way, I don't think I need this, there is a way to find all the answers by going into a higher dimension. But the information about this film, which made my entire theory very clear, was given to me by my son, who is with us. He was the one who told me, Dad, if you are thinking this way, why don't you see this film? And the moment I saw this film, everything became clear to me. Indian philosophy gives you a clear sign of existence of the higher dimension. And not only that, it says you can reach it. Now, what does science say about it? What does science say about it? This I've already told you. There is a book called, there is a person called Lawrence Krauss. And he also says that the universe has started from nothing. And there will be a time when it's like a quantum fluctuation. And when the fluctuation will become zero, the universe will come to an end. And this is a very celebrated modern physicist. Most modern physics theory is this. You can get into the YouTube, look for Lawrence Krauss, and look at the film, look at his presentation, 45 minutes presentation yourself. It's unbelievable. It's a little scientific, but maybe you can get the gist. Scientists certainly do not believe that there is a separate God. For them, everything is energy and waves in quantum mechanics. Okay? But interestingly, the difference is modern science are convinced that the answer is to be found in the three-dimensional space and time, perhaps. But Indian philosophy indicates that the answers are beyond the realm of these 3 or 4 dimensions. You have to think of higher dimension. Now, what is beyond our space-time, the space-time dimension is very simple. We deal with it every day. Our dreams, our thoughts, our desires, our wishes. They have no three-dimensional structure, but they are there. We dream, we understand, we wish for something. And if you carefully now see what practitioners of Indian philosophy do, you will find hundreds of stories that sadhus from Himalaya came, they can do this, they can do that, they're possible on 2 different places at the same time. Many stories we Indians have heard, and sometimes also faced firsthand. But the answer that the 5th dimension is around us has a scientific basis also. And this is the most important part of my lecture. The first theory is based on Einstein's theory of relativity. It was general theory of relativity. It was propounded in 1925. And I wish someone would have explained this the way I am explaining to you. Because this theory is clearly a sign of existence of the 5th dimension. It says wherever you have gravity, the space-time curves. And if you see in scientific books, they try to make a depiction in the 3-dimensional or maximum 3-dimensional or in the book 2-dimensional way. But interesting part is to realize what happens when a dimension curves. A 1 dimension is a straight line. Okay? It will remain in 1 dimension till the time it curves. And the moment it curves, it is actually part of a 2-dimension. Let's take a 2-dimensional surface. This is a 2-dimensional surface. It will remain all around 2-dimension till the time it curves. And the moment it curves in a higher dimension, in the 3rd dimension. Any dimension, when it curves, it has to curve in a higher dimension. But the problem is not as simple as this. Because even if you think of a curvature from 3rd to 4th dimension, what is the 4th dimension? Let's take time. What happens to the curvature in the 4th dimension? Think carefully. With time, a child is born and he changes shape and grows into a big man, and tomorrow he dies. This is the curvature of the 4th dimension. But in the 5th dimension, the whole time will also be clear to you. That is why people can forecast. They can see your future, past, they can see your future. Because once you are in the 5th dimension, time doesn't have any other role for you. That is why I say If Einstein says that space-time curves, it has to curve in the fifth dimension. There is no other way, but the space-time has to curve in a higher dimension. What is the nature of that curvature? We are not sure. We do not know. I do not know. But the fact is that the moment we have mass, we have body, we have gravity. And the moment we have gravity, this space-time is having a curvature around us. Perhaps that is what is called the aura that every human bodies have to have. It's actually the curvature of the fifth dimension. Because we have gravity, and with gravity, the space-time has to curve. Even small bit, but it will curve. And that creates your, and that is another way to put it, the more spiritual you are, the more curvature you generate. The more spiritual you are, the more serene you become. And people start getting the feeling that you have attained something. The fifth dimension starts showing its result. Now, there is another theory which explains the existence of the fifth dimension. Second theory, there is established scientific fact, and you can see even this Lawrence Krauss video, where it says that all the mass in this universe that we see, with all the galaxies, planets, thousands and thousands of galaxies, all the mass and energy that is visible in the universe is only 4% of what should be there in the universe. Only 4%. The rest is termed in scientific journals as negative mass or negative energy. Okay? This is a scientific fact. But I will show you how it shows exactly the existence of the higher dimension. Let us take this two-dimensional surface. Let's go back to our flat land. Suppose in the flat land, suppose in this flat land, we see this is our flat land. There is A, there is B, and both of them think that this is something in this two-dimensional world which is weighing, according to their science, 2 kg. But their advanced science shows that it should weigh 100 kg. What is the explanation? How can you explain this? It's very easy. This is actually just a two-dimensional projection of something in the third dimension. What they are seeing is only a two-dimensional projection. The third dimension is not known to them. But the whole weight is there in a higher dimension. The moment we accept this, we accept the existence of a higher dimension. Science today has become very close to understanding what Indian philosophy has been telling for centuries. Now, if I go beyond this, I'll go into a different realm of getting deeper into Indian theory of karma and theory of deaths and how to explain this child theory. Most of the Indians know this, so I do not need to go. I will only tell you, now, from now onwards, start thinking of everything in terms of this theory that I have just told you. And you will find a surprising easiness to understand everything that you have ever been told by your parents or you have ever learned in any form of meditation or a spiritual guru or whoever it is. All forms of religion, guru, system is actually an eyewash. Nobody is telling you this fact. This is the basic truth of every form of meditation, religion, whatever. I'll stop here. Thank you very much for paying attention. This is also an opportunity for me to once again say thank you to all of you who have come. And I hope from next time onwards, when we talk of religion or anything to do with what happens in India in terms of practices, we will all be wise enough to understand that whatever happens in the name of religion in India is actually fake. People have to be told of this thing. And once you are exposed to this, nothing matters to you. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite Mr. Ramdange for closing remarks.
Friends, today I think Indian community, we have a new dimension with your presence, and where with the knowledge of modern science and Indian philosophy, you yourself has opened in our community in Ukraine today a new dimension. Thank you for that. Thank you for your wonderful speech. I think we all, maybe I personally not fully understood it. Maybe I will need a repetition to be very frank. But still, meditation has become now worldwide, making an image of India and spreading, particularly from this year, Yoga Day is celebrated, recognized by, and you will be surprised to know also in the Indian community here, there are so many yoga centers already practicing meditation. Thank you for that. Thank you, His Excellency, for inaugurating our India Club site, which is made with lot of efforts. And now from hereafter, with the help of this site, we'll be able to reach more and more Indian community in Ukraine. It will be helpful to more and more Indian. We will invite everybody of you, all members of Indian community, your friends staying in different cities of Ukraine, to become part of this website. Provide your photos or videos, whatever you have with you, and so that we will be repeatedly updating our site and take a good use of it. Thank you everybody who helped us to create this wonderful site technically. At the same time, we thank you to all supporters of India Club, all well-wishers of India Club, all sponsors of India Club, and to all of you Embasy staff who help us to make this event a success, and wish you a nice time in Ukraine. Thank you very much.